Hey guys, welcome back to Hanging Out with a Cool Dad. I'm here with Jade, my 1994 Suzuki Carry JDM K truck, or Japanese import mini truck if you will. Today we're going to be cleaning up this rusty looking wiper arm and getting some paint on it to protect it from the winters that are coming from here. I'm not looking forward to that, but anyway, I am using, excuse me, Gator G2 180 grit sandpaper that I picked up at a local big box store, along with some Rust-Oleum satin black 2X paint and primer. I am not sponsored by any of this. This is literally just what I went to the store and picked up. So let's get started on this. The first thing I'm going to do is pull this up and pop off the wiper blade. We'll leave that out for a second, because if you're pulling your blade off, you want to make sure you're protecting your windshield. So I got some well-wrapped paper here. Thank you, Amazon, for the paper. And I'm just going to place that between the wiper arm and the windshield. I'm just going to kind of fold this over to make it fit the hand better, and just start sanding. There we go. Yes, there's some work involved, but in the long run it'll be better. Now, hoping you guys can see the difference there. Bring you in a little bit. You can see the difference in where I have sanded versus where I haven't. Okay, so we're going to keep going at this. May do a little high-speed montage here, we'll see. Now, what you can't, excuse me, what you can't really see on the camera, but you can kind of see up here, is this does have a very slight concave shape to it. So if you're just going flat over it with like a sanding block, it's not necessarily going to do the trick. So you've got to get in that very minor groove in the middle there to make sure you get it all. Now we've got that cleaned off, get our Rust-Oleum out, shake it up well. Now you see I've got my paper behind here because I don't want to get paint on my windshield. Is it something I can scrape off the windshield? Sure, but I really don't want to put the effort into that. I'm being honest with you. So, and I'm sure there is a bunch of painters out there who are going to tell me exactly what I'm doing wrong. That's okay. That's called learning process. I got the first coat on there. We're going to let that sit and dry for a little bit, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I actually, even though the other one didn't have any rust on it and wasn't in bad shape, I figured to make them look good, so I put a little paint on that one as well. So now we're just letting them dry, and we'll be back when we put the wiper blades back on and get them back together. Okay, while we're waiting for that paint to dry, I'm going to jump on what is probably about the only real complaint I have here. And that is one 12-volt outlet right here. There's a cigarette lighter plug in the ashtray, but since I don't smoke cigarettes anymore, I don't really need that. So what we're going to do is, I realized I had a, I guess you'd call it a socket expander, laying around from previous usage. This takes, obviously you can tell I've used it before, takes one outlet and makes it into 4. So, tighten that. I'm going to pop this right in here so I'm ready to rock and roll. Yep, that works just fine. And, you know, if I want to plug in something like my little Radio Shack inverter, I've got that option. To do this, again, this is just what I found at the big box store. I've got Scotch Mount Extreme double-sided mounting strips. And I'm just going to take one of these and I'm going to mount it right in the middle of the back of this. Just kind of press that down. My personal tip, don't press the corners or edges too much because it's going to make it a pain in the backside to get that backing piece off there. Now, I did go through yesterday and cleaned all this, so I know it's in good shape. We're just going to make sure I'm on the frame, in frame for you. And yeah, so I don't press these down too hard. I do it every time. I should know better. If you have a sharp knife, that can probably help you get this up. I somehow didn't walk out of the house with one. Granted, the house is right there. I could walk right back in, but instead, I'm going to fight with it. There we go. Okay, got it. Oh yeah, there we go. Come on. There we are. Some people might edit those things out. I choose not to because honestly I'm going to show you the whole process, and even when it's a pain in the ass. Okay, so I am going to go down here just below the shift level. Line that up. Stick her on. Give her good pressure. And we look pretty good there. So I'm going to run out of space for a minute. I'm going to plug my GPS in on the corner here. Oh, I got to remember which way is on and off on this thing. So fortunately, okay, so there we go. And now we've got power to that. So I now have 3 extra outlets in case I have something I want to plug in there. I've got that option, and these do turn on and off, so you don't have to worry about any type of power bleed, power waste, power drain, whatever. So that's all set. Give me just a minute, and we'll go check on those windshield wipers. Okay, so the paint's dry. Fortunately, it does dry fairly quickly, so we're going to get our wipers put back on. Nice thing about these wipers is they're pretty much just slide and click on. So slide it over the arm here, get it past that, and just slide her up in, give her a good tug, and bam. And number 2, get her in there, slide it up in. This has the clicky on it, this one does not. 2 different brands. This one happened to be laying around and I got it for no cost, so I'm always saying that's a good deal. So we now have our nicer looking wiper arms. Are they perfect? No, I'm not going to say that. But I know that probably next summer I'll be doing a repaint on this because this is mostly, we're in August now. Potentially winter can start hitting in New York State in September-ish, so I just want it protected before that time gets here. So right now I'm more worried about just making sure it's protected, not necessarily being perfect. But while we're here, let me see here, aim you guys down a little bit more. I've also got this little scratch here. So since I've got everything out, I know it's not going to get painted black. We'll give it a little sand. That was very much surface stuff, but I need to make sure that stays protected. So, should have grabbed this out of the truck beforehand, but I didn't. So for the truck, I have the Rust-Oleum Paint and Primer 2X Satin White. And like I said, I'm sure there's a million painters out there or body guys who are going to tell me exactly what I'm doing wrong. It's okay. I have no issue with that. I'm just going to... Yep. I'm going to get my paper back out here. Fold the black to the middle. And protect the stuff I don't really want to get. quick hit, and just, actually that's not a bad color match. But I was a little close, so I got a little drippy there. I can always sand that off later and fix it when it's not quite so breezy out. I am not blessed with a paint tent, so until then, yeah, that just made it worse. There we go. Is it perfect? No, but I accept that. Like I said, the big thing for me, it's protected. This is a 1994. I don't want to have to worry about rust expanding. When wintertime gets here, they start putting salt on the roads. Okay, so we cleaned up our windshield wiper arms today. We got extra power options if we want it. Again, I'm not saying this is the greatest thing in the world by any stretch. This is Radio Shack. If you know anything, you know they've been gone for a while. 12 volt DC to 115, let's see, 300 watts for 5 minutes. So yeah, this is not top of the line by any stretch of the imagination. This would be, if I needed to do something quick that needed AC power, I have the option. There will be other items coming in the future, and as you may have seen, it does have a extra battery in the back, which is going to become a battery bank in the not overly distant future. I'll bring you along on that project as well, and that will have a decent inverter on it, not to mention some solar options for keeping it charged. Right now it does have an isolator switch, so if I'm driving and want to make sure it's charged, I can flip that switch and it'll charge off of my alternator here in the truck while I'm driving. But I want to play around with the solar option for a little bit. So I believe that does it for today. Thank you guys for joining me here, and if you didn't learn something, at least you hope you were entertained. So much love to y'all. Be good to one another and stay positive. I'll catch y'all next time.